You have to find what you like. You have to find enjoyment in the thing that you're doing. Because if you don't enjoy what you're doing, it's going to be really hard to become really good at what you're doing. I never went to school for software engineering. I just enjoyed messing around with computers. I enjoyed making things, taking things apart and seeing how they work. Growing up in Michigan, salt on the roads, having a car in general. It's awesome if you know how to do kind of like the basic things that you need to do with a vehicle. Being able to pinpoint problems with your vehicle, and you just have to be able to pinpoint the issue, because if you can pinpoint the issue, you can follow it up and see what's broken and what needs to be replaced. Working on vehicles, being around other people that worked on vehicles really gave me the insight in how to problem solve. And I also liked building things, going out into the woods and building like tree forts and building little log cabins and, building things. The combination of those two things, being able to take things apart and fix them and then be able to build new things. And then the 2000s came around and you could have web pages. I mean, web pages were around before the 2000s, but that's kind of around the time that I started getting online. I remember there being things like MySpace, Tumblr. There were some platforms where you could just make websites. It was really MySpace that did it for me because with MySpace, you could edit your profile and you could change things about your profile. You could add elements. You could use CSS to modify things. You could write JavaScript. Also, Tumblr was another really big one because Tumblr, you could just change everything about it. It was really like editing your own website. The combination of MySpace and Tumblr led me to learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript. One thing led to another, and I was building web pages. Even before web pages, I remember writing bash scripts. There was these like obscure YouTube videos that would teach you how to do things on like the terminal, or not, it wasn't even the terminal, it was the command prompt. And you could make the command prompt look like you were in the Matrix, or just like weird things that you could do within the command prompt. I remember watching YouTube videos like that, and it got me doing things inside of the command prompt. One bash script that I specifically remember, I wrote this program when I was in middle school, and I remember you could do net view and it would show you all of the computers on the network. And then you could do like net send, and then you could put the name of the computer and you could put like a message in quotes. A little alert would pop up on the other computer. So I remember being in computer class, and in our computer class, there was names above each one of the computers. And when I did net view, it would show me all of the names. And I was like, oh, they match. Computer one is named computer one on the network. And I was able to send a message to one of my friends. You're in middle school and people would pass messages, but I was like, man, it would be so cool if we could just send each other messages on this computer using these commands. I looked it all up and I learned about bash scripts, and I wrote a bash script that would pretty much just run net view, and it would show you all of the computers on the network. And then it would have an input and it would say, enter the name of the computer. And then you'd press enter and it would say, what message do you want to send? You'd press enter and it would send the message to the computer. And then it would refresh, it would clear the command prompt, and then just show you all of the computers on the network again. So you could keep doing this. It made it easier for me and my friends to communicate within in the computer class. Because not everyone can remember these commands. You can write them down, but having it where it just shows you automatically all the computers on the network, and then you can type the name of the computer and then you can send it. It just made it so much more simpler for people to send messages rather than remembering the commands. And I put this program on all of our flash drives, and we would all send each other messages. It was so much fun, and I enjoyed it. I remember I got in trouble for doing this, and like to think about it now, how this thing that I enjoyed tinkering around with became what I do now. I mean, I mostly work with web languages, but I just like doing things on the computer. I like making things on the computer. It started with me making these little command prompt things, which led to MySpace and Tumblr and me wanting to create cool templates for my profiles. The main point that I'm trying to make is that I honestly enjoyed making things and tinkering around on the computer. One of the things that I think holds a lot of developers back from becoming a good developer or even securing a job is that they don't really enjoy messing around with the computer. They kind of just got into it because they heard that they could make a bunch of money. Don't get me wrong. When I was broke, I would do anything to be able to not be broke. When you're not financially secure, you really grab for anything, and that's understandable. It's understandable that you would practically do anything to not starve. I would do anything to be financially secure, to be able to afford my bills. Right. That's totally logical. And if that's the situation for you, I understand. Even if that is your situation and that's what's led you to wanting to learn how to program, I understand it. It is going to help you out tremendously if you can find what you like about what you do. I'm not just saying that for software engineering. It's really, honestly, anything that you decide to do. Like I said, I don't have a formal education. I just started doing this when, long time. I can't even remember when I started because I started messing around with computers when I was like super, super young. And by the time that I graduated high school, I was building websites and I had a bunch of projects. Man, it's funny because I didn't even really think I could make money in the way that I do now, writing code. I was always, making websites, videos, marketing content for local businesses. And it was really only when I moved out west and secured my first kind of like corporate job that it, really hit me that, wow, I can make a really, really decent income doing this. You can make personal websites. You can make websites for small businesses. I think there's a lot more opportunity in building interfaces and online tools. Everybody has an app idea. You probably have some app ideas, and not that you have to make them 100%. It doesn't have to be fully functional, but it's really cool to be able to build out a web application for your app idea. And you can kind of make it work using mock data. Or there might be just tools that you can build. When I start thinking about this, I think of so many things. Like I've built Chrome extensions. I've built automated processes. I've built front-end interfaces for apps that I thought might be a good idea. I've built a lot of different things just because, I have ideas. If you're really interested in something, you'll notice different things about whatever it is that you're looking at. And if you're interested in web development or front-end software engineering, you're going to notice different things about, the websites that you visit and the apps that you use. And you might look at a problem and see it in a different way. You might say, wow, I deal with this problem. I'm sure that other people deal with the same problem. And I think if I built a Chrome extension, it would really help me out and it would help a lot of other people out. And you start looking at the world in that way and you say, hey, how can I use this skill to build solutions? And I think that's really important if front-end software engineering is something that you do want to pursue. If you want to pursue software engineering, you want to pursue front-end, figure out what you like about it. If you find out what you like about it, you're going to go the extra mile and you're going to think about it in different ways. And it's only really about finding what you like about it. You're going to see it in that way. And so when you go to do an interview or when you go to talk with clients or you just talk with other people about that, they're going to see it. Like you're seeing me making this video right now. That is how much I like what I do. I like it so much to whip out my camera, mount it in my car, and make a YouTube video of me talking about it. You know, a video is another way to express what you like about what you do. Making projects and just doing things for fun, you know, shows what you like about what you do. So when you talk with other people or you talk with people in an interview, you'll be able to carry that same energy. It really shows, you know, compared to somebody, and I'm not saying that don't go to school, but I do think a lot of people go to school for software engineering and they don't have any passion behind it. And if you don't have passion for what you do, it's going to show.